Hey guys, and welcome back to another Sheffield Steelers guy video. I know I haven't vlogged it. So welcome. Today is the 11th of February, and today is the SSG review. But it's not just any SSG review. It is the Cup semi-final day today. Coventry and Belfast, first leg. This should be a very, very fun first game between these two sides. We're also going to be talking about David Booth has finally got out of this league and hopefully he never comes back. And we're just going to be talking about stuff that I should have talked about on Monday, but I completely forgot. So let's go. Let's start with Robert Dowd, because ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday, Robert Dowd scored his 400th goal for the Sheffield Steelers. He is the first player in Elite League history to reach this mark. And pretty much, he is the Alex Ovechkin of the Elite Ice Hockey League. What's next for Dowd? Is there any other records that he can break? Is there any more milestones that he can set? Is there any trophies this season that he's going to lift? We'll get to that point in a few minutes. But a very, very big achievement for Robert Dowd. Of course, you have to score the goal when I'm not there at the arena. You have to score it when I'm not there. But a very good achievement for Robert Dowd. Let's talk the Nottingham Panthers, ladies and gentlemen. Because obviously they lost to the Coventry Blaze. And the Panthers have just completely fell out of the title race. Now, back in September up until New Year, the Nottingham Panthers were probably the best team in the league. They were winning games, they were top of the league. At one point, they were top of the league by 4 points, and everything was going nice and swell. However, they decide to take a break from the league and go into Manan's dinner plate, and they win Manan's dinner plate. They come back into the Elite League, and everything just goes woo-with. They have lost 4 games and won 2, I believe, in their last 6. That's not a great start. And to be honest, you were all laughing at us for losing 3 games in a row and not being great. Who's laughing now? Well, we're getting form back in the tally. You are dropping out of the race, and we're now just 1 singular point behind you. 1 point. You lose 1 game and we win 1 game. We're straight above you, which is honestly how I think it'll end. I do think the Steelers will finish above the Nottingham Panthers. But Nottingham, I honestly started to think when I was saying you're not going to win the league, you're not going to win the league, you're not going to win the league, you're not going to win the league. I was starting to picture you lifting the league title, and I was thinking, nah, there's no way they're going to pull this off. They will have a downfall, and I got it right. They had a downfall, and thank God that they're miles away from the top of the table now. Who's top of the table though? The Belfast Giants. And honestly, as an Elite League fan, I know Steelers are in the talk for the title race every year. I know we are, but it's starting to get boring now. The same team Belfast had such a bad start to the season. They were in the CHL, then they were out of the CHL. They were 4th at one point, they were 6th at one point, and I saw one fan of Belfast say, "Oh, you were 6th. We were 6th once. Look at us now." Yeah. You were 6th for about a week. We were once 6th for about the entire season in 18-19. I do think, and I said it, I believe I said it on a previous episode, I said that if Belfast win the league this year, they will find it extremely difficult to win it next year. Because simply put it, I think Steelers next year will be miles better than they are this year. I think Panthers will actually drop off a bit. I think Panthers will go back to being 4th and 5th. I don't think Panthers will be contending for the title again. I think there's quite a few Panthers players from last year who came back this year who won't be back next year. But obviously, the Belfast Giants have their first test today to try and get some silverware. They take on the Coventry Blaze in the Challenge Cup semi-final first leg. Now, obviously, the winner of this semi-final will either play the Sheffield Steelers or the Nottingham Panthers in the final. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, we want a Giants and Panthers final." No, we don't. No one wants that. What we really want is a Steelers and Giants final, which, by the way, would be held in Sheffield, which, by the way, you do not stand a chance at winning. Who do I think is going to win tonight? I honestly think after the crazy game they had on Sunday, I do think the Coventry Blaze will go and get the job done today. I think Blaze will win the first leg. I think Blaze have got it in them. They had it in them in 2023 to go and do that magical comeback in Belfast to go to the Challenge Cup semi-final, where they then got absolutely battered by the Steelers. But I do think Coventry have it in them. Obviously, Steelers and Panthers don't play their first leg till next Wednesday, which I find ridiculous. I think we should all play our first leg and second leg on the same day. But we don't play Nottingham away until next Wednesday, which is honestly... I think it's going to be difficult playing Nottingham away in the first leg because you have to turn up. If you're playing the first leg away, you have to turn up. If you don't put in a great away game performance and you're a few goals down in the second leg, bringing that aggregate score back in the second leg could be difficult. And really, I just can't tell you who I think is going to go through, because Coventry have played good hockey lately. Belfast, bit iffy after last weekend. Nottingham are a bit iffy. Steelers are picking up form. I just can't tell you who I think is going to be in the final. But if I was to be seriously honest, like seriously honest, I can see a Steelers-Giants final. I can see it. I think it's written in the stars. And the reason why is because as much as Nottingham have got Fossier back, they've got the players back, Steelers are picking up form, and I do think Steelers will turn up, because I think the Steelers will see this as this is probably the best chance we have at getting silverware. Obviously, there's the playoffs in 2 months' time, but I do think the Steelers will knock out the Nottingham Panthers. I still think if you were to be honest and you were to be asked who owns the rivalry between Nottingham and Sheffield, the answer is Sheffield. Sheffield are the better team out of the two. And I do think this Panthers downfall will affect them for the rest of the season, and I do think it will come in and out. And what a weekend we have this weekend, everyone. On Saturday, Cardiff and Sheffield, and Nottingham and Belfast. What a Saturday that's going to be. It's probably going to be the biggest games of the season so far. I do think Belfast will win the doubleheader between Nottingham. I do think Belfast will be given a harder challenge when they play Sheffield at the end of the month. I don't think it'll be like what it was last time. I honestly think the Steelers, I can see the Steelers winning in Cardiff. Cardiff are just all over the place. Cardiff are all over the place right now. They're winning games and then they're losing games, and then they're winning games and then they're losing games. I don't even know how they've managed to fit themselves into second place. It's that insane. So obviously the crazy stuff happened between Fife last week. Obviously David Booth got injured. I can now confirm that he has left the country. He has gone back home, and apart from Fife fans and those who enjoyed him, I think we're all happy that we don't get to see MAGA in the Elite League anymore. Well, the Dundee Stars, what do I say? 9-0. Steelers defeat the Stars 9-0. Is it time for Dundee's coach to go? That's up to you.